Hello, YouTube. So, the category of American spirits, I should say, that I'm most excited about at the moment is actually brandy, which may sound a bit weird since we think America, we think whiskey, bourbon, rye, that kind of stuff. But I mean, actually, the in some sense, the original spirit of America was rum, right? Triangle trade, right? That stuff. And then we moved on to whiskey after we didn't get access to the islands anymore. But at the same time, we were constantly distilling, fruit brandies at the same time. Applejack, you know, uh, pear brandy, different kinds of what you might call now schnapps, and grape brandy. So I've been exploring the category a little bit, and I thought I would do a special episode. I guess are these episodes? I guess they're episodes on Copper and Kings in Louisville, um, who are making, who are probably right now the sort of leading new distillery for American brandy. I've reviewed their pear brandy in the past, which was sourced. One thing you'll notice about these guys is it's a mix of sourced stuff and stuff they make themselves. Um, and today I thought I would review some of their own stuff, or at least this is partly their own stuff. We'll get to that in a minute. So I got this is a grape brandy. No idea what grapes are in it. And this is an apple brandy, where it's apples sourced from Michigan. So let's get started, shall we? All right. So the Butchertown. I'm gonna get rid of this box because it's kind of harshing my mellow a little bit, but it's a perfectly serviceable box. So the Copper and Brandy folks, in their standard range, they have a standard brandy, which is bottled a little bit stronger, and then they have this, which is bottled a lot stronger. This is 62% alcohol by volume. Copper pot distilled American brandy, no, non-chill filtered, and basically nothing added. They haven't added that. They haven't added any sugar or color or any of that weird, like boiled wood stuff they use in cognac. Now, initially, I know they were sourcing a lot of this, but I think this is something like a 2019 bottling or something like that. So I think a lot of this is their own stock, and the barrel mix is 75% used whiskey barrels, bourbon barrels, and 25% new American oak, so fresh oak. And again, it's made. Mostly made, I guess, in Louisville and named after the Butchertown neighborhood there. So how cool is that? I'm gonna pour a little. And yeah, I don't know what to say about this other than that. So moving on, this is the second bottle I wanted to talk about. This is the Northern Soul Apple Brandy. This is a Binny's selection. This is not. So they do make a more consistent apple brandy. I think this is a slightly special thing. So this is finished in hard cider cask also from Michigan. So they've doubled down on their appleness. What's else? Same deal with this. Non-chill filtered, no color, no sugar, nothing like that. And copper pot distilled. And this is all their own stuff. And 55.5% alcohol. All right, but let's start off with the Butchertown. Sorry, I'm trying to get these looking decent for the camera. Okay, so huge is the first thing I would say. I mean, this is you can tell it's a brandy, kind of, but it just has this massive dose of American oak on it. Yeah, it's huge. It's cognac by way of Kentucky. This is like a cartoon. It's like someone driving a huge diesel Dodge Ram through the Champs-Élysées or something. This is a lot of fun. So you're getting like vanilla bean, oak smoke, like oak hardwood smoke, little toasted coconut, some golden molasses, the lighter style of molasses. Um, Tons and tons of black pepper. Just pile on the black pepper in here. Um, Kind of like an old book thing, like old leather meets dust and not really any paper, but it's pleasant. It's mainly the leathery thing. Um, some pear, like an anjou pear. A little cinnamon, slightly nutty, but floral at the same, almost like an orgeat, almonds and floral elements at the same time. Um, yeah, it's really like cognac by way of Old Forester, something like that. Um, on the palate, oh, also huge. What you just saw was the back end hitting me with a gigantic pile of black pepper, which I'm enjoying. There's also lots of oak tannins. Someone stewed up some black tea and some like super young Tanat based red wine, and they stewed all that together, and and they threw it into this brandy. Um, a little campfire smoke. Oh, um, I'm going to throw some water into this in a minute. Um, Jesus, it arrives nice actually. Lots of oak, cinnamon, actually kind of a cinnamon toast crunch thing. Cereal, except it's not tearing the top of your mouth out. It's it's nicer than that. Um, a little pear again. I don't know what kind of pear, just pearness, like little eau de vie pear maybe. Um, oh, that finish. Kind of a slightly metallic, like rusty penny note, which is actually nice. Vanilla bean, but like toasted, burned vanilla bean, if you could do that. And maybe one dried apricot in there. This is pretty brutal, but I'm enjoying the brutality of it. This is a cartoon. Um, I'm just gonna add water to this, and the extremeness and the concentrations of flavors is a perfect example of why I get excited about American brandy. It's a different. There's a resemblance to something like bourbon or rye, right? But it's also just a very not totally, but a very different set of flavors. And I mean, the mixologist would have a field day with this. Like you could throw this into a zillion classic cocktails and make up some new ones just for fun. Okay, let me see how that sounds. If that's enough water. Okay, moving on to the Northern Soul. So if you'll remember, I absolutely lost my heart to the Laird's single cask thing that I reviewed a while back. I will put that in the description. If you can still find it, get it. It's beautiful stuff. So this is again all Copper and King's own distillate, but they finished it initially aged in bourbon oak, I believe. Yeah, bourbon barrels, and finished in Michigan's own Vandermill hard apple cider casks. So on the nose, very cider appley. Just that's the main note here is cider apples, with the side of a side of a slab of American oak. It's almost like, again, these are cartoons. This is a cartoon of an American brandy, and this is a cartoon of like an apple brandy. It's really appley. Just apple everything. Apple cheese. I've talked about apple cheese in past videos. Like it's the stuff I encountered through my Lithuanian adopted family. It's you sort of boil you sort of boil apples down in a pot, and then until it becomes like almost like a fruit roll up kind of consistency, and then it keeps forever. But it's a very, if you can find it, grab it. It's a great taste to have in your profile, because it shows up in well, apple brandy for one, but in lots of other places as well. Just, it's not really the fruit. It's more like the skins. There's a little bit of a green note. There's like apple stems in this. And then again, like campfire smoke, a wood smoke, black pepper, not as much as in this, but a lot. Some stewed black tea, like an Assam tea or something, like a really malty tea. There's a vanilla note, but it's sort of mixed in with a coffee note, I want to say like coffee with French vanilla creamer, but it's nicer than that. It's like someone went through the effort to actually make what that coffee should be. I don't know what that does that actually exist, like real French vanilla coffee. If it were, like that's on the nose. And a little bit of fennel to kind of top everything off. There's this kind of slightly herbal green note going on here that's hard to pin down. On the palate, again, dominated by cider apple. So much so it's a little bit simple, if anything. There's a nice little astringent note running through this, kind of an apple sour note. It's also a little bit metallic, but it's not. It's more nickels or something than penny. It's one more shot. Apple core, apple stems. Actually, throw a shot of like wheated bourbon in this. Young wheated bourbon, like a Rebel Yell or something, in good condition. Some Christmas spices, some cinnamon is very obvious. Nutmeg, cardamom. There's a little bit of a floral note in there with a metallic note. It reminds me of some of the Calvados Calvas that I had in that review, which I will also link down below. A little bit of like some on the back end. It's not as, I don't like the finish on this as much as I do this. This is more brutal. You need some water for this guy, but it's very filling. It's very effective at what it does. This comes up a little more short. It sort of leaves you with a nice apple aromas, but also some old tea bags, old coffee grinds, something a little bit dusty, ashy. Pretty good. Okay, a little more white pepper on the back end of this. It's good. I like this. I don't like it as much as this. This is the roller coaster ride. So let's give this 3 squirts. See how it does. Like how to squirt more. There we go. Okay, back to the Butchertown. And then we'll give these a score after we go through them one more time. So with water, it just opens up beautifully. Actually, once you give it a little bit of water, it's neat. It is very tight and very intense. It's like drinking, a California Cabernet that was just made last week. It's one of those sort of mouth ripping experiences. But throw a little water in this and give it a little bit of time. Not even a lot of time, like 10 minutes. And it just, it just opens up beautifully. There's some nice aromatic details in this, like the dried apricot thing comes through. There's some like almost Buffalo Trace with pears included in there. Golden raisins. The black pepper and the smoke are still there as well, kind of backing everything up. A little kind of a burned soil note in there as well, like if you took some topsoil and just flamethrowered it. Maybe there's some raisins in there with the toasting, like toasted raisins, and even like a hint of sparkling Vouvray of all things. It's a very nice nose. It really is, cognac by way of Kentucky. It's, you're sitting in the back of your pickup truck, drinking Kelt or something. This is nice. Yeah. Oh, fruity, spicy. That drying note has opened up a little bit, but still very dry and very intense. But it is more fruity now with a little bit of water. So you're getting that apple cheese thing that I also got on this, but not as much. Mixed in with some more dried fruit, like pear cheese, if that exists. You could make that, right? I just haven't had it. And then on the back end, it's kind of swallowed up by, not totally swallowed up, but pretty swallowed up by smoke and pepper and sort of dry woody notes. This is nice. It's young. You could tell it's young, but as a value proposition, this is about $60. So you go to cognac with that, you're getting a VSOP bottled at 40%. There are a couple of independent producers you can start to look at that price range, but you're limited in your options. Even Armagnac, the Armagnac doesn't really start to get exciting up until you get to maybe 70, 80, $90. This is a little bit of a value option in terms of brandy, and it's just it's fun. This you can tell it's American. It's obnoxious and huge, but it's also doing this wonderful aromatic brandy thing that I'm really enjoying. Yeah, starts fruity and nice up front and then gets dry. It's just a great classic profile with new flavors. I'm not going to go crazy on this. I'm going to give this an 86 out of 100. But I will say, if you're looking for a change up, if you're an American spirits drinker or a cognac drinker or an Armagnac drinker, and you're looking to cycle your palate a little bit, give this a shot. I mean, but get yourself some water on the side. Okay, let's leave that alone. 86, good stuff. Back to the Northern Soul here. Wait, can you see it? I'm terrible with the camera. Okay. Hasn't really changed very much from just nosing it neat. It's gotten a little bit more sweet and a little bit more spicy, but essentially it's very much the same. The coffee seems a little bit nice. Coffee note is coming through a little bit more, and it's a little bit nicer than it was. Maybe throw some spicy hot cocoa on the side of that. There's a hot chocolate note in there, which I like. So maybe it's like a spiced cafe mocha or something. I don't know. Slightly more herbal now too, which I'm enjoying. The fennel is right there on the palate. Oh, it does improve the finish. Gets a little bit sweeter. Gets more spicy on the back end. More clove, a little bit more pepper. I still like this better. This is lovely. I think they tried to overthink this by, throwing in some cider cask. It's just just keep it simple, guys. Keep it in your bourbon barrels. That seems to work really well. Because yeah, the yeah, so it's good. But I also want to try their standard apple brandy to see, which I think is just no cider finish on that. But I just want to see if that's any better. But I would give this. I mean, I still like this. It's a little bit simple. I still like this. Hmm. Great little sipper. I would give this 84 out of 100. And yeah, I think these are about the same price. So this is winning the contest for me. But again, like if you're looking to expand your palate a little bit, this is a great thing. And if you're looking for a heavy dose of cider apple, this is also like just a great choice for you. Um, yeah, that's kind of all I got. Brandy, American brandy. It is a thing. Um, it is a thing you should be paying more attention to. Frankly, these are good and they're different, and the prices are not outrageous, despite the fact that these are basically coming out of a new producer. So keep an eye on this category. Go try, particularly this guy. And that's kind of all I got. Thanks a lot for watching, and cheers.